what's going on, guys? Welcome to our Final Fantasy Wave Access video, and I've once again changed the position of my microphone back to somewhere to where it originally was, because the cable is a little bit longer than I thought it was going to be. So it's not in the exact, it's not over here. It's in the realm of the same position. So maybe it sounds a little bit better. I don't know. It's gonna be work in progress for all of you guys that just joined us. Join me in my channel. There was a period a long time ago where I was having to do this constantly. Every video I had to change it around to make it sound really nice. So sound production is a very hard thing to do. I dare you to buy a microphone, buy a stand, get everything set up, and see if it'll work out for you, because it's different for everybody. So it's a work in progress. I tested at least 20 times, saying test over and over again, but it sounds different when you make the video and you put it on YouTube. You can do as much editing as you want, but sometimes it just sounds different. So sorry for about wasting about a minute of your time on that one. But anyways, let's get into the review. So we have Barbariccia, and she got Neo Vision Awakening. This is a unit that I'm not sure if it'll come to global in the way that it will, because Barbariccia is way different on the global version. This is a bold prediction. This is Gumi we're talking about here, so they might just do it as a 5-star into Neo Vision Awakening, but they could do Barbariccia into Neo Vision Awakening since he is the 4-star. Barbariccia is the 5-star on the JP version. I know it's very strange that they did that, but which I guess from what most people said, that kind of makes more sense. Why was Barbariccia the one that was the 5-star when she was basically chosen because she was waifu power? I suppose it was what most people were saying back then. So anyways, 50% wind damp, which is actually quite impressively strong for a Neo Vision Awakened unit. It's a 4-star. 50% is really high, guys. Usually units have 30%, and usually really powerful units like Sephiroth have 50. She just has 50 for herself, of course, but still on top of that, quad cast permanently, quite good. 200% magic TDH, 500% chain cap, so with indestructible light she'll have 600%. She has 150% Reaper killer, 200% human killer. She has the +3 tornado enhancement. This is something that's completely new. So 120 times mod, 135% wind and peril. In the Brave Shift form, she has her Lunar Burst as a 135% wind and peril, wind and light and peril, 85% break for defense and spirit, and also 200 times mod for tornado. Very strong, very strong actually. That's a really powerful tornado. The problem with tornado, as you a lot of you may know, no one really uses tornado anymore, so it's been kind of hard to find a dupe, or it's gonna be kind of hard to find anyone besides a dupe chainer, but basically. So no infinite turns, very unfortunate. So you have a huge burst turn of huge tornado damage, as long as you can get her up to a high EX level, so you can get that lone burst done out ASAP. You need that 200 times mod. I know 120 times mod tornado seems like a lot, but that 200 times mod bonus on top of that is gonna do really good. As I mentioned, you need dupe chaining basically to keep up, and really doesn't do much else besides the tornado chaining. Really she doesn't really have much else going on with her besides that. So I've decided to go with 8. She can do good tornado chaining, but needs a dupe. Kind of drags down her score a bit. And if you guys are wondering about the STMR, the tornado, the reason why there's 50 times and 100 times, because the weaker, like the unenhanced and like +1 in tornado and +0 in tornado is 50 times, and +2 and 3 is 100 times modifier. So that could also help her out a lot more even. So it's a disgusting high modifier of a tornado. In fact, like that's like insanely high. But it's tornado, unfortunately. It's tornado. So 8 out of 10 for Barbariccia. We have Summoner Rydia here, whose STMR is basically the same as Summoner Lena, except it's the bottom part is for Rydia's only, for Rydia's in name only. Unlockable quad cast, 200% magic TDH, which is the same for both sides, as well as the 500% chain cap increase, 150% Reaper, and also 120% Fairy Killer. She also has the tornado enhancement. decent, so you could use her as well, but she would have to keep up with the tornado and the quad casting, all that kind of stuff, because remember, Barbariccia has permanent quad cast. In the Brave Shift form, she has 200% Olympus damage passive. The base LB is Protector's Bayonet, which I assume it is because it's 27 hits. So 27 hit ice magic damage, 170 times and 250 times max. That's the base form Olympus, by the way, my mistake. Now we're in the Brave Shift form. In the Brave Shift form, Olympus is 130% ice and peril, 80 times evoke damage, ice evoke damage. And here's the best part about her overall. Great field effects. Leviathan gives 100% spirit. Assure gives 100% attack, and Bomba gives 100% magic. So those of you who are new to the game and don't know much about that, I think I did make a field effects video, but for those of you who are wondering, yes, these can stack. So for example, if you used Aerith's 400% buff and used this, you'd have 500% buff in total because they stack. Field effects will always stack with non-field effect effects. So for example, Terra's Fire Amp for summoning Ifrit will stack with the upcoming Rain's 55% Fire and Peril, so you can have a huge Fire and Peril, or Fire Amp, sorry about that, Fire Amp for that. So you could have 500% attack, you could have 500% magic. It's insane, actually. So I'm really looking forward to maybe getting her on a daily or something. I did get Kane on a daily, surprisingly. When I woke up, I got Kane on a daily, so we're gonna be talking about him pretty soon. So I'm gonna go ahead and, based off of, just because she has that field effects, her score is gonna be going up pretty high. But there are some downsides. No infinite turns. She has that 2 turns just like Terra and Lunafreya, unfortunately. I wish you could just stay in her Brave Shift form permanently, but you can't. She's just basically Ice Terra with, That's all you really need to know. But I'm gonna go ahead and give her a 9 out of 10 because of those field effects. Those are way insane. Like, you guys may think that, oh, it's just, it's just a small stat buff. 100% on top of 400%, guys. Or at least 300% if you don't have Aerith. That's insane. A 400% stat buff in total if you have 300% stat buffs. That's crazy. That's worth bringing her along just for that. And she can finish at as well. So very good, 9 out of 10. And now we gotta talk about Kane. True Brave Shift, of course, as the spotlighted unit here. 30% Spear and Peril, and also 100 times mod for jumps. For all of his jumps, and also his chaining, but I mean, who's gonna be doing that? You're bringing this guy along to jump. And another thing that I noticed, which is really strange, is that he has that same thing where, like, if you guys remember Kuja back in the day, where on the first turn he gets some kind of Bloom Burst buff or something like that if you use his Bloom Burst on the first turn, which I don't know why you would ever want to use. He has the same kind of situation here where he gets a small buff of some kind. I forgot what it was entirely, but it's a buff of some kind, but it only lasts for the first turn. And oh yeah, I think it's like a mod increase for his Lone Burst or something like that. 80 times mod buff for his Lone Burst. But like, why would you want to do that when you bring this kind of jump? He wants a jump. So the crazy thing is that 100 times mod buff. So in total, it's 200 times mod for a jump. There are some cons to that, but we'll be getting into that. 300% TDH, which is good. So now you could equip Cloud's TMR, regular Cloud TMR if you want to do that. Probably don't want to do Martial Glove on this guy because you want to equip those 2 things to give jump damage. So it's kind of an awkward thing there. But okay, 500% Chain Cap, also 200% Dragon, and also 150% Fairy Killer. 500% jump damage, which I think isn't it like not that high? Isn't some people have 600? So I'm not sure on that. And like I mentioned, the 200 times jump mod, if you use this cooldown, it's locked to lightning and light, so that's the downside. Brave Shift form is basically the same, but instead of lightning, it's light instead as a jump. So here we go with the same problem again. I forgot to put this one. I forgot to put this in the cons. TDH Dragoons, besides Sky, are just not very good because variance with TDH with one-handed is not as strong as hitting twice. So you're most likely going to be building him true to wield. Unfortunately, he has no true to wield to start with. And so that's awkward to build, just like Mazurka and just like all the other Dragoons before Kane having to be built true to wield. I'm sure people will figure it out. I'm sure people will figure it out. Or maybe you just build him TDH, but you'll be only hitting once. And locked to lightning and light, but it doesn't seem to really matter that much anymore. Being locked to elements, it doesn't seem to matter after Sephiroth and Tifa, honestly. And even I think even before that, even it was starting to become that point. One use of Grandis that's needed to upkeep his 100 times mod buff, because that cooldown to give the 100 times mod buff only lasts for 4 turns, and at least 1 to 2 turns of those turns you're going to be in the air. So with that being said, you need to use the Grandest in order to reduce the cooldown by 10. So is that available again? So what the idea is, you use the cooldown and then use the Grandest, so then when the next time you want to jump, or you just don't use the Grandest at all and you would just use the cooldown, but then you would use the Grandest and then you can use that cooldown all over again as basically a refresh, like a pass go, for example, type of deal. And the last thing here, I mean, this is to be expected when it comes to Dragoons at this point. They lied about the jump damage on Olympus with Sid back in the day, and now they lied about the jump and land in 1 turn kind of thing. I just tested it in game. I have Kane, like I mentioned. I pulled him from the daily. I used the jump. Does not work. There's no jump and land in 1 turn thing. It's nonsense. And once again, they lied to us about another Dragoon. So if that jump and land thing was true, that would have raised his score a lot more, because even if he's TDH Dragoon, he would have been faster than any other Dragoon in the game. But that's not the case. So unfortunately, his score is going to be reduced a bit. So now it's going to be 8.5 out of 10. He probably would have gotten a 9 to 9.5 if that last line there was true. But it's not. It's not. So overall, decent banner. Nothing crazy other than Rydia. I think Rydia is the winner on the banner for sure. I know everybody wants to use Kane, but I mean, other than 200 times mod jump, what is he doing? I guess he's just doing it to jump, I guess. I mean, both of his little bursts are really nothing that special. He probably wouldn't want to use them. That's why I didn't even mention them, because it's just really nothing that special. You really don't need him for his little burst. You're using him to jump. So let me know in the comment section down below. First of all, about Kane and Rydia and Barbariccia. Do you agree with my review scores on those? Do you find that they're better than what I'm reviewing them as? Do you find them that they're worse? Let me know in the comment section down below. Also, let me know about the microphone yet again. I apologize, guys, about that. I'm gonna keep pestering you guys because you pestered me about it. So now it's only fair for me to pester you to give me feedback on how it sounds this time, compared to the last time and compared to the time before that. Is it better? Is it worse? I need to work on it. Let me know. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.